Yes, I'm here. I know. I know. With everything going on, I made it. I made it. I made it. Everything going on. So, welcome to my Dear Dreamcatcher series. And I did not forget about you. So, don't think that I forgot about you because I did not forget about you. So, I have Under the Snow Moon in Leo. Now, I'm reading this a couple of days before the full moon, which is on February 1st, which is Sunday, because one, we have a potential snowstorm coming, so I'm not sure about internet connection. And two, I have a lot going on in my personal life. And so I am just trying to take it one day at a time, but also fulfill my responsibilities and obligations. So we are going to do the full moon for February 1st today on January 29th, which is my son's 22nd birthday. He's hanging out with his other Aquarius friends. I have my letter here, but then I also have it up on the screen. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to learn how to read my letters directly from the screen to here on live. So yeah, we'll see how I do, right? Anyways, let's start with this. Under the blah, 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 blah. Let me get myself together here. Let me just check my phone. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to be rude. All right. Welcome. Dear Dreamcatcher series. This is my journal. So, Under the Snow Moon in Leo. Dear Dreamcatcher, I wanted to share a note with you about the upcoming snow moon on February 1st, which reaches its full phase in the zodiac sign of Leo. Named for the heavy winter snows, this moon falls during a season of stillness and reflection, offering a gentle invitation to embrace introspection, renewal, and cleansing as we move toward spring. Please forgive me. I just realized I'm still new to this, so I hope you can hear me. I don't even know if I have my microphone on. Microphone check. Microphone check. Yeah. Woo. Never a dull moment with this broad. I'll tell you that. All right. Here we go. Yes. Oh, whoops. Let me put it on this. Is that better? Can you hear me better now? Is that good? Can we start over? There's no right or wrong way to do a vlogging journal. And actually, I can take bits and pieces of this and move it over into my business journey journal. Anyways, let's start again. Woohoo! Let's start again. Hey, if I get you to smile and I get you to laugh, especially during the last couple of weeks, I think that is a wonderful outcome. Okay. Hi, this is Sherry with Dear Dreamcatcher series. This is my letter to you all here on YouTube Live. And tonight, our letter is about the snow moon in Leo. So without further ado, now that I have my microphone on, under the snow moon in Leo, Dear Dreamcatcher, I wanted to share a note with you about the upcoming snow moon on February 1st, which reaches its full phase in the zodiac sign of Leo. Leo the lion? Okay. Named for the heavy winter snows, this moon falls during a season of stillness and reflection, offering a gentle invitation to embrace introspection, renewal, and cleansing as we move forward to spring. Obviously, the beginning of this video is nothing close to stillness. unless you have issues with the internet. Moving on. With the full moon in Leo, the quiet strength of winter is paired with warmth, courage, and creative energy. This is a time to reflect on what lights you up, release what no longer serves you, and reconnect with your own inner confidence. Even during the slower, colder days, Leo encourages self expression and gentle boldness, reminding us that our strength often shines quietly from within. I hope this snow moon brings you moments of clarity, renewal, and courage. Let it inspire you to trust your instincts, honor your heart, and step into the new season with patience and quiet confidence. Like the winter landscape preparing for spring, this moon reminds us that letting go creates space for growth, clarity, and fresh possibilities. Take a moment to look up at its glow if you can. It is set to be full at 5:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Sunday, February 1st. I'll be thinking of you under the same moon, sending warmth and encouragement across the winter sky. Your friend Sherry. Now, I truly felt while I was doing this letter, this journal, I was not patient. I feel as though I was trying to rush and get everything out because I have so many other things going on underneath inside of me. I'm trying to like picture me, right? Picture me. And no, this is not sip and think, okay? This is just me explaining what's going on. So, we've had some major snowstorms here in the East Coast. I'm in Rhode Island, and we're potentially having another snowstorm this weekend, right? Usually in the wintertime, the snow is covering the ground, right? The ground is doing a lot of things underneath, right? As above, so below, if you're into that kind of thing. And when the snow melts and the ground unfreezes, then nature begins to grow up and out of the ground. But before it can do that, it has to do stuff inside or underneath, right? So my emotions right now, right? My emotions inside me are going all over the place. And what I'm doing on the outside is I am trying to keep it cool and calm on the outside. But inside, I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. You know, another way to look at it is like, a volcano, right? Lava, everything's, inside the volcano. And then as it starts boiling and going up and going up and going up, we can think of like springtime is when it explodes, That's another way to look at it. Anyways, that's just me. But that's how I feel with my emotions right now. Okay. P.S. Why is the snow moon significant? The snow moon is significant for several reasons, both astronomical and symbolic, making it a meaningful full moon in February. 1. Timing and water. The snow moon is typically the full moon of February, when winter is at its peak in the northern hemisphere. Its name comes from the heavy snows that often fall during this month, signaling the depth of winter. Symbolism of stillness and renewal. The snow moon represents patience, quiet strength, and reflection. Even in the coldest, slowest parts of the year, it reminds us that there is still growth and preparation happening quietly beneath the surface. Number 3, astrology energy. Depending on the year, the snow moon can fall in a particular zodiac sign. Example, this year it happens to fall into Leo. Adding qualities of courage, warmth, and self expression to its natural introspective energy. It's a time for self-care, reflection, and nurturing your inner fire during winter's stillness. That inner fire inside you. Yeah? Get it? Yeah, I know it's not such a thing. Anyways, number 4, cultural significance. Many cultures named full moons after seasonal patterns. The snow moon is tied to winter rituals, reflection, and the anticipation of spring. I know we're all like, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait for spring. A couple more weeks, just got to get through this winter. Marking a bridge between the deepest cold and the upcoming renewal of spring. Just have to get through the month of February. And the snow started even before February started, so start a little bit earlier. Number 5, astronomical visibility. In February, the air is often crisp and clear. I can tell you it's been about 3 degrees, and in some places with the wind chill, probably negative 17. So the snow moon can appear particularly bright and luminous, standing out beautifully in the night sky. In short, the snow moon is a symbol of endurance, introspection, and quiet preparation, encouraging us to embrace stillness while looking forward to renewal and growth. And I do have to tell you, it is very hard to be patient and still while you have all these things going on inside, right? I'm talking emotionals. All right, so now I have more to add to that, okay? We're going to look a little bit deeper, all right? Cultural traditions and folklore. Okay. For many indigenous North American tribes, the snow moon wasn't just a pretty sky moment, it was a time marker. It told people we're still in survival mode. Rations matter. Community matters even more. Storytelling, tool making, and teaching younger generations often happen indoors around this time. The moon was like a reminder in the sky, hold steady. In Celtic traditions, February lined up with the Imbolc, Imbolc, early February, a festival about the first hints of spring. So even under the snow moon, there was this quiet optimism. Light is returning. Lambs will come. Life will restart. The snow moon's look and feel. Because the sun is lower in the winter sky, moonlight during the snow moon can appear silvery white, extra sharp against dark frozen landscapes, almost reflective when it hits snow, which literally bounces moonlight back to you, right? The moon is our shadow side. It's a reflection of truth, or it's when truth comes to light, right? That's why winter full moons often feel brighter and a little surreal. Remember, we're dealing with full moons, right? Emotions, tides control. I meant moon controls the tides. Ocean is your emotions. Feel the motion of the ocean. All right, astrological flavor, optional but fun. Astrological, the snow moon falls in either Leo or Virgo. For this one, it's in Leo, depending on the year. Leo snow moon, emotional warmth in a cold time, heart stuff, courage. Don't shrink energy. That's what it's telling you. Don't shrink your energy. This is not a time to shrink your energy. It's a time to build underneath the snow. Virgo snow means cleansing, reassessing routines, preparing the ground for change. We're not in a Virgo full moon in February. We're in a Leo snow moon. Emotions. Don't shrink the energy. Either way, it's less about dramatic action and more about inner alignment. Okay. Rituals and quiet practices people do. Nothing flashy. The snow moon energy is, I can never say this word, subtle with a silent B. Ooh, there we go, girl. All right. So journaling about what's been hard and what you've survived. I'm journaling right now about the snow moon, but not about what I've survived. I'm amazed that I'm here right now, honestly. Letting go of habits that feel like winter weight. How can I release all this baggage that I'm carrying on my back? How do I release it? Come on, Sherry. Maybe I say no to certain things. I don't know. But I got to let go of some shit in the past. That's hard for me, you know? Resting without guilt. Ooh, that's a tough one for me, too. I have a hard time resting. I have a hard time staying still. Then sometimes people think, oh, Sherry's just laying there. She's staying still. Yeah, but my mind's still going, you know? My feelings are still going inside this body. So just because you see me resting doesn't necessarily mean that I am resting. And then I get guilty because I'm resting and I have things to do and da, 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 da. It's like, Sherry, no. Shh, quiet. Quiet yourself for a minute, Sherry. Quiet. No, we're not on a sip and think. Sitting under the moonlight, even for 5 minutes, just to mark the moment. Honestly, a full moon in the winter, yes, there is something very special about it. I know people don't like the cold, but sometimes it's really good for you. Just go out there in the cold, wear appropriately dressed, jackets, hats. Yeah, I'm into my fur. I did the white for you today because of the snow moon, you know. Um, but yeah, sometimes when I go down the ocean and you just kind of let yourself breathe in and out and you stare up at the moon and you just try to regroup yourself, and sometimes it can give you clarity. You can just like release things to the moon, and just help yourself kind of regroup. And it's almost like a meditation, I guess you could say. I've done it before, so I know what it feels like. I'm just trying to get you to maybe try to picture it in your own mind, Like I'm picturing myself, we have a seawall, and I'm down at the seawall, and there's rocks, and then there's the ocean, and then there's the moon and the sun and the moonlight across the ocean, and you take it all in. Maybe it's the mixture of that salty air from the ocean, the crisp cold of the temperature, and the moonlight. And you just try to, release things. And then you walk away. And it's almost like you have clarity. And it helps you put things in perspective. Like you tell yourself, I'm not, I got to change this. Pretty much it's like, accept the things you can't change and change the things you can. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I get when I do that. Anyways, this moon is very much a pause, not a push moon. The emotional metaphor. If moons had personalities, the snow moon would say, you don't need to bloom yet. Just stay alive. Spring will handle the rest. If you want, we can focus a little more on, let's see. I've got notes here. Yes, I use ChatGPT. And I add a little Sherry twist to it. Yep. I keep it honest and open here. All right. So, okay, this is what I wanted to do. So, I kept hearing the word snow moon. Okay. And obviously it snowed. And then I was obviously dealing with some family matters. And I started looking into Snow White. How Snow White from Disney correlated with the snow moon in Leo for February. I know, you love me. It's okay. I get it. I get it. Anyways, at its core, the Snow White represents innocence under pressure. Snow White, the name alone, snow tells you a lot, right? So snow is purity, stillness, untouched potential. While white is innocence, truth, and moral clarity. Okay. So here it says Snow White starts as something unmarked in a harsh world. So she was untouched potential, innocent, truth, moral clarity, unmarked. But the world, the environment was a harsh world and environment that she was born into, similar to our children today. So the story isn't about staying naive through it all. It's about keeping your inner goodness intact while the world tries to harden you, right? So we've had horrible things happen to us as human beings, and we're emotional beings. And how do we keep going without hardening our own hearts, right? The psychological layer, right? The psychological layer of Snow White. In a lot of the mythic readings, Snow White represents the young self or emergent identity. Maybe that's like teenagers turning into adults. Maybe that's when people go into midlife crisis. I mean, maybe it's every so many years, like every decade, things change. Uh, yes, I'm always working, right? Um, it also represents the part of us that is vulnerable but real. The soul before it's shaped by envy, jealousy, comparison, or power games. The queen isn't just evil, she represents ego, vanity, and fear of being replaced. Basically, the part of the psyche obsessed with control and appearance. Snow White threatens that just by existing and being herself, her innocent self. People can get jealous of that, people can get jealous of those who are nice and kind. I mean, some people, what is it, haters, something about haters gonna hate. No, people get mad and upset because you might have more than them, but what are they doing to get there? Or people are always looking at things, and again, don't take this the wrong way. This is Dear Dreamcatcher series, okay? It's not something thing. I get it. But I want you to think about some of this. Now I'm losing my train of thought here. So, Snow White's innocence is threatened just by existing, just by being born. We're in a harsh environment. People are always like, you have money, I don't. You have a great body, I don't. Why does she have a great husband and I don't? Instead of looking at what everyone else has, you need to start looking at what you have. Remember, this is inner work, right? So, snow, sleep, and death symbolism. Snow White doesn't fight, she endures. She's poisoned, then falls into a death-like sleep. This sleep mirrors winter, snow, and the pause before rebirth. In myth language, this is an Initiation. I don't have my glasses on. Thinking of rebirth of Slick over there, you know? Ah, okay. You must go still before you can transform. So think about it. Snow White eats the poisonous apple. She goes into a deep sleep. Miraculously, she wakes up from a kiss from her prince or whatever. I don't know how you would wake up in this instance. Maybe it's through exercise, maybe it's through changing something that you need to change in order to transform. So it's basically telling you to go still before you can transform. I know this is a lot. This is deep. This is deep stuff, man. This is deep letter. Deep, deep, deep. It's very snow moon energy, honestly. All right, so the dwarfs. Small but mighty symbolism. They're often read as earthbound helpers, instinct, skills, or aspects of daily labor, the grounding forces that protect innocence while it matures. Snow White learns to live, work, and survive with them. So she learns to live, work, and survive with her instincts, skills, and aspects of daily labor. Um, so basically, right, as you're growing up, you have to experience things, do chores, work, whatever, play sports, I don't know, sing in chorus. You're experiencing things, right? You make mistakes, and we learn from our mistakes. So once we learn from those, we learn how to live, we learn how to work, we learn how to survive, right? Please tell me you understand this. So at that point, now that she's learned and she's come awake, she's not just pure anymore. She's not pure and innocent anymore. You have to somewhat sin, I guess. She's capable. So she's transformed into being able to move forward and survive, live, and work. Classic symbol of knowledge, temptation, and the risk of consciousness. She doesn't eat it out of greed, but curiosity and trust. Growth always carries danger. The awakening, the kiss. It symbolizes reintegration into life, readiness to re-enter the world with awareness. It's the transformation, right? Once you transform, right? Optimus Prime, once he transforms, he can take on all this stuff. Basically, Snow White does not wake up the same girl who fell asleep when she ate the poisonous apple. Snow White represents innocence that survives corruption, the quiet self that refuses to become cruel, the truth that threatens false power just by existing. Or, in one sentence, Snow White is what remains gentle in all of us, even after winter. All right, so now, did you like my Snow White analogy? All right, the innocent self versus the critical inner voice. In therapy, Snow White often maps onto the core self, sensitive, authentic, emotionally honest, versus the inner queen, which is perfectionism, comparison, and self surveillance. The queen's mirror, like mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all, is basically modern social media. Wall. Who's the fairest now? Now, uh, a lot of people struggle with shame, body image, or imposter syndrome. often have a very loud queen and a very quiet Snow White inside. Healing work equals protecting the Snow White part inside of exiling her. You have two sides to you, basically. Number 2, trauma and the freeze response. Snow White doesn't fit or flee, she freezes. It's not weakness, it's a real nervous system response. In trauma psychology, the poisoned sleep equals disassociation or emotional shutdown. The glass coffin equals being seen but not fully alive. People who grew up in unsafe and invalidating environments often learned, if I stay quiet and good, I'll survive. Snow White represents the self that went dormant to stay safe. 3, people pleasing and good girl conditioning. Snow White is kind, helpful, compliant, and non confrontational. In modern terms, over agreeable, conflict avoidant, valued for being easy. Psychologists link this to fawn responses, gendered social conditioning, attachment patterns where love is earned through goodness. The story warns what happens when innocence isn't paired with boundaries. Number 4, individual. Is it Jungian? Jungian? Individuation? Individuation. Individuation. The deep myth stuff. So from it's called it's either Jungian lens or Jungian lens. Snow White equals the emergent ego / true self. Queen equals the inflated ego or shadow, terrified of aging, change, or loss of power. The poison apple is consciousness. Once you wake up to the reality, you can't go back being untouched. Her death is necessary for growth. Her awakening equals integration. This mirrors modern therapy goals, becoming whole, not perfect. Depression and emotional numbness. That suspended state, alive but unmoving, is how many people describe depression. Days blur together, joy is muted, you're functioning, but you're not living. Snow White reminds clinicians that numbness is often protective pause, not a failure. Healing doesn't start by forcing happiness, it starts by restoring safety. Number 6, reclaiming Snow White. In contemporary psychology, Snow White's arc isn't about staying sweet forever. It's about keeping empathy without self-erasure, learning discernment. Don't take apples from strangers. Waking up on your own terms. A healthy psyche lets Snow White grow teeth. In modern psychology, Snow White represents the vulnerable core self, innocence shaped by trauma, comparison, and control, the part of us that went quiet to survive, and the possibility of waking up without becoming cruel. I can continue on, my dear. Snow White and therapy language. IFS, attachment nervous system, internal family systems, which is IFS. In IFS, Snow White is an exile, young, sensitive, emotional, carries pain, fear, and unmet needs, hidden away because her feelings felt dangerous or inconvenient. The queen is a manager, perfectionism, self criticism, control through comparison. The poison apple equals moment when the system says, feeling this is too much, shut it down. Healing means letting Snow White speak without the queen silencing her. Attachment theory. Snow White often appears in people with anxious attachment, earn love by being good, avoidant patterns, go numb when closeness feels unsafe. Her sleep reflects the attachment wound. I can't be myself and be loved. Therapy focuses on reteaching the nervous system that authenticity won't lead to abandonment. Okay. Polyvagal nervous system view. Snow White stillness equals dorsal vagal shutdown, low energy, emotional flatness. I'm here, but I'm not really here. This isn't pathology, it's survival wisdom. The body pauses when fighting or fleeing won't work. 2. Spotting your inner Snow White versus your inner Queen. Signs Snow White is running the show. People pleasing, difficulty saying no, guilt for having needs, and trusting too quickly. Signs the Queen is in control. Harsh self talk, comparison obsession, fear of aging, change, or being unimportant. Worth tied to appearance or productivity. Health is not choosing one, it's letting Snow White grow up and softening the Queen. Kind of like ego, right? The snow moon connection. Winter moons represent dormancy, psychological death, deep conversations of energy. Snow White sleep mirrors the snow moon's message. Rest is not regression, it's incubation. The snow moon lights up what's been frozen, not to fix it, just to see it. Remember? The truth comes out in the light, right? So if you can see it, right? If you can see it in that stillness, you're able to see what can't be changed and what can be changed. And then you have the ability to accept what you can't change and change what you can. This is why February can feel emotionally heavy but strangely clarifying. Dreams and symbolism. If Snow White shows up in your dreams or imagery, it often means a neglected emotional truth that wants attention. Innocence is resurfacing after burnout. The psyche is ready to wake something up. Apples in dreams equals forbidden awareness. Glass equals visibility without agency. And snow equals emotional pause. Number 5, rewriting the ending. Modern psychology doesn't end with rescue. The awakening is. Snow White choosing discernment, learning boundaries, integrating strength without losing kindness. She doesn't kill the Queen, she outgrows her. All right. 6, a gentle practice. It's optional, not but powerful, okay? So during the next full moon, which is Sunday, the 1st, the snow moon in Leo, ask yourself these 3 questions. Where am I still being good to stay safe? What part of me went quiet so I could survive? And write one boundary that protects your tenderness. No forcing, no fixing, just listening. The big integration. Snow White in modern psychology is the frozen self that protected your heart, the cost of goodness without safety, the invitation to wake up gently. Or simply put, you don't need to become the queen to survive the winter. You just need to let Snow White grow strong. So I hope you enjoyed Dear Sherry's dream catcher diary entry for the Snow White or snow moon in Leo. All right. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your winter. And hopefully I'll see you in February.